Hello, we're Team 5. I'm Porfirio. I'm here with Pato, Fanny, Daniel, and Regina, and we're going to talk about Animalia. Okay, introduction. The kingdom of animals is the most evolved and is divided into two main groups, vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates are approximately the majority of the all Animalia and are composed about 72,000 type of animals that are vertebrate. Vertebrate animals are characterized by having an internal skeleton consisting of a skull and a spinal column. Living vertebrates include the cyclostomes, bony cartilaginous fishes, amphibians, and the groups of classic known as reptiles, birds, and mammals.
Invertebrates. Invertebrate animals are known as all species of the animal kingdom that do not have an attached or dorsal cord, not a vertebral column, nor a articulated internal skeleton. The arthropods are an example of arachnids such as spiders, insects, such as ants, myriapods such as centipedes, and crustaceans such as crabs. Annelids. The annelids can be the earthworms or leeches. Mollusks. The mollusks can be the clams, squids, octopus, and snails. And finally, the echinoderms, stars, sea cucumbers, and sea urchins. The invertebrates, the spineless creatures of the animal kingdom, are a diverse and fascinating group. From insects to mollusks, as I already said, these organisms make up a staggering 97% of all animal species on Earth. Despite their lack of a backbone, invertebrates have managed to conquer every corner of the planet, adapting to various environments and playing critical roles in ecosystems.
Well, now we'll continue with the animal characteristics, which this involves that they are multicellular and they are eukaryotic beings, and this means that they have the heterotrophic feeding, aerobic respiration, sexual reproduction, and the ability to move. As we know, this animal kingdom is one of the most biodiverse one, and this is composed by mammals, fish, birds, reptiles, amphibians, insects, mollusks, and annelids, and among others.
Characteristics of living beings. All living beings of all kingdoms share some essential characteristics for their survival.
Well, the first characteristic is nutrition, and we have two types of nutrition: autotrophic, that they generate their own food, and heterotrophic, that they feed on other living beings. The autotrophic nutrition is when organisms make their own food, for example, in photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs. And heterotrophic nutrition is when organisms gain their food by ingesting other organisms. Heterotrophic nutrition can be parasitic, saprophytic, or holocytic. Then we have the second characteristic, that is cellular organization. Unicellular is when they have only one cell, and multicellular is when they have two or more cells. And the unicellular organisms are made up of only one cell that carries out all of the functions needed by the organisms, while multicellular organisms use many different cells to function. Unicellular organisms include bacteria, protists, and yeast, and multicellular organisms are composed of more than one cell, with groups of cells differentiating to take one specialist functions.
Cell typology. Eukaryotes that are the genetic material surrounded by a membrane, or prokaryotes lacking a membrane. Prokaryotic cells are cells without a nucleus. The DNA in prokaryotic cells is in the cytoplasm rather than enclosed within a nuclear membrane. Prokaryotic cells are found in single-cell organisms such as bacteria, like the one shown in. Organisms with prokaryotic cells are called prokaryotes. They were the first type of organisms to evolve and are still the most common organism today. The eukaryotic cells are cells that contain a nucleus, that are a typical eukaryotic cell. These are usually larger than a prokaryotic cell and are they found mainly in multicellular organisms. Organisms with eukaryotic cells are called eukaryotes, and they range from fungi to people. Eukaryotic cells also contain other organelles besides the nucleus, and an organelle is a structure within the cytoplasm that performs a specific job in the cell. Respiration. There are two types of respiration. The first type is aerobic, that is a respiration that occurs in the presence of oxygen and in most cells most of the time. And the other type is anaerobic, that is a respiration that occurs without oxygen and much less frequently than aerobic respiration. This respiration occurs in mitochondria, which are found in the cytoplasms, and the human bodies use both types of respiration.
Well, and finally, we have the reproduction, which is divided in three types, which is sexual, asexual, or by spores. The sexual one is the most common one, in which some species, the male releases the sperm over the eggs after the female has laid them. The asexual one is when the organism makes the same animal. And finally, the reproduction by spores, which is a kind of asexual reproduction as well, and is when the organism delivers some particles over the environment, and finally it gets another organism, and that's it. Thank you.